Good evening! Horror and chaos be to you in the name of Runie Roots. Now, lunatics shall welcome one another as I shall welcome you. Hi, hi. Hi, hi. Hello, everybody. There we go. Hi, hi. Happy RUSEDAY. I'm on the other side. Does it feel weird? Are you weirded out? Does it seem unnatural? You don't like it, well, you better get used to it.
Warm.
Happy RUSEDAY, excited to explore some Resident Evil lore. Yes, I'm so excited. I'm super, super excited. I know that I pulled all of these files while we were playing the game and I never read any of them. So I thought, why don't we just take a cozy little RUSEDAY and read through them so we can all be caught up. Yeah. Are you dead on purpose? I suppose I can revive you. But I reserve the right to kill you all over again, should you misbehave. Customer Testicles, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me grab my tambourine. Gifted memberships, who? Gifted memberships today, gifted memberships today, gifted memberships, wow, make sure you say thanks now, gifted memberships today, hooray, thank you, thank you. Welcome in, everybody. I feel okay today. My watch says otherwise. So I did end up buying, I had talked about it on stream, how I wanted a new Apple Watch, but I hated the Apple Watch. So I bought a Garmin, as you guys recommended. And I actually really like it. I mean, this thing is awesome because it doesn't run out of charge ever. I basically, every day when I take a shower, I put it on the charger. And then when I get out of the shower, I put it back on my wrist. And it's like at 100% all the time, basically. So it can actually charge, like, track my sleep and stuff, which is one of the main things that I wanted. However, it's mad at me today. It says that well, let me see. It says that my body battery is at 21 out of 100. Which is not good. And it says that it's like that because I only slept for 6 hours and it wasn't good sleep, and then I have high stress. It's mostly high stress are making my body battery low. So it keeps being like, you should take a break. And also, it told me I need to get 8 hours of sleep tonight. It feels motherly, this watch. It feels motherly. Like, it's not, it's just like slightly scolding. Yeah. I'll try to get some good sleep tonight. I'll try. Yeah, sometimes you need that. I mean, I really do recommend it. It's been nice. I've been tracking my steps. So I've done 3,490 steps today. No, that's a lie. I've done 3,933 steps. I could do better. I could do better. I had 28 minutes of high intensity workout. Let's see. No naps today. And let's look at the heart rate. Ooh, my heart rate's actually really high right now. My heart rate is 88 right now. Oh my gosh, it's 91. It's going up. 93, 95, 96. Oh my gosh, Runie takes you make my heart rate go up. But my average today is 59. You're gonna make me explode. I have the Garmin. I don't know. I don't know which one I bought, you guys. I went to Walmart and I picked the one that was on sale. It's like Vevo, in vitro, something like that. That sounds right. Oh, yeah, I think Vivo sounds right. I think I've told you guys this before. I don't get very particular about sales. That kind of thing like stresses me out. Like to really shop around and compare prices and specs and stuff. I do not find that to be an enjoyable experience. And if I really want like a good deal on something, and I'm like, I want the best of this and for a decent price, then I'll ask my mom to do it for me. And she will do the research for me. She will read the Reddit threads and give me a summary so that I don't have to do it, because she actually enjoys it and I do not. Do not, in fact. Wait, who is having a baby? You are! Congratulations on your baby! Yay! Congratulations! I'm so happy for you! Your due date is coming up. Make sure that you are resting. You know, I think if it wasn't a prediction, we'll make it one so that I was correct. Yes, yeah, my mom has a bunch of karma on Reddit. She does. Also, my mom managed to score tickets to the BTS tour, and she was very cute about it. Because she was so nervous. She was so nervous for like days and days. She was so nervous. And I like set her up on my computer because my computer's faster than hers and it's like wired to the internet. So she could like buy the tickets, because it's like a race to get the tickets because they sell out really fast and you have to wait in a queue. And like the queues are something stupid. Like you can be like 20,000 in line, right? So her and her friend were trying to get tickets, and she was so nervous. She was basically like, will you come do it? So I came home early and I helped her do it. And we got like, what was it, like 2,000 in queue? But her friend got 600 in queue. You were 85,000 in line? Holy moly. But yeah, we got like super early in queue. So they got both nights, they got like really good tickets that they're super, super excited about. So I'm so happy. I'm very, very happy for her. Y'all should have seen her. She was so cute. She like jumped up and down and screamed. It was very cute. So I'm happy for her. Got 2 tickets in the last section available right next to each other. Hey, I'm glad you got tickets though. Even with such a late queue number. That's awesome. Yeah, we got really, really lucky with how early the queue number was. So. And it was funny because at first she didn't know who she was going to go with. And my brother had promised to go with her because I had really been like, I don't want to go. My brother had promised. And then my mom has a friend, And they decided to go together. And my brother was like, whew, whew, I don't have to go. But he would have. Both of us would have at the end of the day. We're both suckers when it comes to mom. I mean, the thing is, yeah, I like the girl groups more than boy groups. If it was a girl group that I didn't listen to, I'd be a lot more gung-ho to go. At the end of the day, I like a performance, though. Like, a concert's gonna be fun no matter what. I think it's just the whole ordeal of it. Like, you gotta travel there and get a hotel, and it's, like, super crowded. It's like, it's all of that. Like, if I could just, like, show up at the concert, like, if I could just, like, blip in and blip out, I'd feel a lot more like chill. Even if I didn't like the group super much, I'd be like, yeah, I'll go, whatever. It's a concert. A concert's gonna be a good time. It's not like they're gonna put on a bad show, you know. But I'm actually very sick of traveling right now, which does make it hard. It makes it hard because I'm so sick of traveling right now. I'm sick of it. Warng. I like live music is, I just think is awesome. I really enjoy live music. So even if it's not a genre or group I would usually listen to, I'm probably gonna have a good time if I see live music. Places with good train services are like that. You just get on the train and go wherever you need to go without much hassle. I really wish I lived somewhere with good public transport. We do not have that where I am. Not at all. I hope to see Baby Monster live one day. You should. They put on such a good show. Ah, we are the monsters. They're so good. I've seen Baby Monster twice. And if they come back to America, I will see them again. Because it was awesome. Good evening and happy RUSEDAY. Love seeing you dissect and theorize Resident Evil lore. Yes, we need a complete global saturation. Are you saying I was manufactured? What's Baby Monster? Baby Monster is a K-pop group. They're a girl group. They're very, very cute. Manufactured. Like, why did he say it like that though? I'm so serious. Why did he say it like that? That was not okay. First of all, Deskun doesn't exist, but even if he did, that was my leg actually. So I suffered today. That was my leg. But man, this game was so fun. This game was really, really fun. And it looks like there's, yeah, quite a lot of files that, yeah, there's like 12 whole files. And the last one is all about Albert Wesker. Let's go. That I haven't read any of these. You unlocked them throughout the gameplay, so I thought it would be nice to go through and read them today. Happy RUSEDAY, Runie. Glad to hear you got a new watch and that is helping. Hope you rest well and cozy and comfy. Thank you. He pushes the earth down. He does. When Chris Redfield does a push-up, he pushes the earth down. Chris Redfield, crazy. That file was manufactured. I hope they get whoever did this voice to do his voice for the Code Veronica remake. That apparently is happening because I'm just seeing the buzz everywhere. I mean, I for one am not surprised that he was manufactured because, I mean, he looks like a 10 out of 10 product to me. That's all I'm saying. That's that's the result of trial and error, my friends. Wow. More like Resident Evil, am I right, chat? Yeah, you're right. I think Code Veronica would really benefit from a quality remake. I agree with you. I keep seeing stuff about them making it like open world. I don't know what they mean by that. I genuinely don't know what they mean. I don't know what they mean by that. Because, like, if you're... I just don't know what they mean. Because, I mean, yeah, I think if Rockfort Island is a big map and you slowly open up different areas by solving puzzles, I feel like that's just a Resident Evil game. That's just how Resident Evil games work, right? That's how the original game works. It's a big island and you slowly unlock access to all of the different parts and you backtrack and run all around, you know? So like when they say open world, like what are they comparing it to is what confuses me. Oh, do you think they just mean no load screens? Oh, I see. I mean, that would be... I mean, yeah, like Resident Evil 2 and 4 felt like that. Very much so. I mean, there were like the different sections, but like within the sections, like when you're in the castle, it just felt like I was going everywhere in the castle, you know? Outside, inside, all around. Yeah, I hope that's all they mean. So, but I don't like the idea of it being sandbox though. I don't know how you sandbox a Resident Evil game. I mean, there's a certain level of sandboxiness, I guess, in the sense that you're supposed to just kind of run around and explore, and maybe you find the puzzle first, or maybe you find the clue to the puzzle first, you know, but like you just, like you find things and then you open up new areas, you know, and you could do it in a slightly different order. But I don't know exactly what they mean. Like, I don't know, like, I just don't know what they mean by that. Yeah, the boat section would be fine to me. That was just very exploratory. I guess when I think open world, I think like a bunch of side quests and no linear story. Like you could just kind of like go and do this thing and go and do that thing and go and do this quest. And there's like, or you could skip all of them and do something else. I wouldn't want that. Like a little bit of that is fine, but I wouldn't want too much of that, you know? Like for example, with the boat in Resident Evil 4 remake, I mean, you had to go to most of those places. You didn't have to visit the island in the middle to get a little reward. You didn't have to like go get the chicken egg if you didn't want to. But most of those stops you had to go to get the apostate's head, all the heads, and then open up, right? Like something like that is fine, but I wouldn't want it to become like too much. I just feel like it could end up not feeling nice anymore. Yeah. Yeah. I think like survival horror as a genre is open world enough already that I don't think they really need to make it more open world. So maybe they are just like using it as a buzzword, question mark. Means Claire and Steve are gonna be carjacking zombies and getting stream sniped by copyrighted music on the radio. Do you think Steve listens to Nickelback? If you say no, you're wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. It is. It's like it's the perfect era. It's the perfect time period. Time period. That sounds really weird to say about the 90s. Let's not say time period when describing the 90s. That makes me very uncomfortable. Runie, I tried to make a rune that would earn your favor, but I failed. It was a luck rune to bestow good fortune, but nothing happened. What? I think your fortune's looking pretty good right now. I mean, you just got a payday. I don't know how you're gonna say that wasn't good fortune. If you say that wasn't good fortune, well then you're just blind to the beauty around you. The ancient time of the 1900s. Can you please? The prehistoric 90s. Y'all. The 90s were 30 years ago. No, they weren't. No. They were like yesterday. Yeah, I was in my golden 60s. Oh, I'm sleepy. Don't worry, I feel old too. I feel old too. I'm decrepit. My life is disappearing before my eyes. No, you're Runie. I'm sorry. I know I just keep saying I'm sleepy. I don't know. I just want to impersonate Sleepy all the time. I'm so sorry, Eepy Sleepy, for trying to impersonate you like every stream. All right. I wanted to ask how the volume is. Can you... Because it is technically playing music. You guys can hear that, right? I don't need to give you background music. Oh, yeah, I have round ears. No elf ears. Round ears. It's so funny when you ask about sound stuff because you always get both answers. You get people saying, yeah, it sounds great. And then you get people saying, no, it sounds bad. Okay, I turned the music up as loud as it can go. Yeah, I think the music does have like water drop sound effects in it, maybe. But goofy music would be nice. Yeah? Maybe I should turn it up though, because I want there to be a little bit of background music. I want you guys to be able to hear. I mean, I can hear it just fine, but I know that Discord does, or sorry, OBS does a weird thing where it like makes all the volume more quiet. Than it is to me. Warng. Warng. Oh, I bumped my mic. Miss Ruse, this is This is Professor's Doctor. He put a playlist of your new ASMR on repeat and hasn't woken up since. We're afraid he'll never come back to us. I'll release him when I darn well please. Go on with your business. How dare you approach me? The year is 2026. Mankind has progressed little in the last 30 years. We've progressed so little, and yet everything's so much more expensive. Tablas are the name of the drum. Ooh, that's cool. I've never heard of that before. Tablas. Tablas. Oh my gosh, I can't stop yawning, you guys. I can't stop yawning. Okay, well we'll just let it go like this. 44 pages. Oh my gosh. There's 44 pages, y'all. Oh my gosh, wait. This might be a longer stream than I expected. Hold on. I'm sitting back in my chair. All right. 1960s. Engineer Michael Warren begins the electrification of Raccoon City. The fifth head of the Ashford family, Edward Ashford, begins his research into what would later become known as the progenitor virus. Oswell E. Spencer enlists architect George Trevor to design and construct a reclusive mansion on the outskirts of Raccoon City. 1966. Oswell E. Spencer, James Marcus, and Edward Ashford officially established the progenitor virus, which reconstitutes a living organism's DNA. 1967. November. The construction of the mansion and lab facilities in the Arklay Mountains is completed. Jessica and Lisa Trevor are injected with a variant of the progenitor virus. The virus fails to establish itself in Jessica, and she is subsequently disposed of. The virus shows promise in Lisa, and as a result, she is placed under close observation. George Trevor is chosen to be a test subject. However, due to his intimate knowledge of the mansion facility, he is disposed of instead. You know, this has always been interesting to me because they really give Jessica special treatment in the end. Because instead of just getting rid of her, they put her in that huge grave contraption with the pillar stones that keep her grave sealed shut. Like everybody else, they just kind of dispose of, you know, normally. I don't know why they do that to Jessica. I don't know if there's some lore that I'm missing that explains it or what, or if they were just being freaks. I mean, sometimes they're just freaks and they just do weird stuff. Yes, essentially that is why Lisa is still alive, is because she was able to like bond with the virus, I guess, and it mutated differently in her. And it's like from her that Birkin was able to get the idea for the G virus and was able to develop the G virus, is by researching how this like progenitor virus variant worked in Lisa. Which they might say that actually. 1968. Construction of Raccoon City's public transit trolleys begins in Europe, and they are quickly put into use within the city. Spencer founds the pharmaceutical company Umbrella with Marcus and Edward Ashford. The company is established to mask their biological research. In July, Edward Ashford contracts the progenitor virus and dies. His son, Alexander Ashford, succeeds him as head of the Ashford family. August, the Umbrella Training Facility is established in the Arklay Mountains, with Marcus appointed as director. 1969, February. Alexander Ashford begins to design a facility in Antarctica. He secretly makes plans to build an underground laboratory for the purpose of the Code Veronica project. November. Umbrella's Antarctica base and research facilities are completed. 1971. The Code Veronica project is successful. The twins Alfred and Alexia Ashford are born. That's crazy. So I like to imagine that this is like a condensed history report that the BSAA has, I guess. Yeah, title drop. I love Alfred. The twins, of course they're real. Ah! I miss him. I miss the twins. This is why Code Veronica needs a remake, man. They need it so bad. I know, yeah, that you can see it in the background is really cool. 1977, Albert Wesker and William Birkin join the training facility as prospective managers. 1978, January, Marcus successfully develops the T-virus. July, the closure of the training facility is finalized. Wesker and Birkin transferred the T-virus research to the Arklay Research Facility. Marcus continues his own research in the closed-down training facility. 1981, July. Although only 10 years old, Alexia Ashford graduates at the top of her class from a prestigious university. Birkin begins to view Alexia as a rival. 1982. Alexia injects her father, Alexander, with the T. Veronica virus, but the experiment ends in failure. And then she ties him up to a toilet. We all saw it. We all saw it. She tied him up to a toilet and left him there. Tisk, tisk. (1983) December. Wesker researches secondary exposure to the T-virus. He begins to have reservations about Spencer's plans. Alexia injects herself with the T. Veronica virus and enters a 15-year cryogenic sleep. To maintain the secrecy of this plan, it is reported that she died of accidental exposure to the virus. 1987. Michael Warren becomes mayor of Raccoon City. 1988. Wesker, under orders from Spencer, assassinates Marcus. Under Birkin's guidance, the T-virus program begins development of the BOW Tyrant. Umbrella begins work on the Nemesis project at its 6th European research facility. So I think this is maybe stuff that happens in Zero? Maybe? I mean, some of this is lore that I haven't experienced outright in the mainline games. Miss Ruse. Oh, why did it look like I got it looked like I got a new one, but it was the same one I'd already read. I'm not reading that again. Oh, yeah. So, you know, I think I already knew that Wesker and Birkin betrayed Marcus, but I don't think I knew that it was under orders of Spencer. 1991, Umbrella begins construction of an expansive underground laboratory beneath Raccoon City. Spencer approves Birkin's G-Virus project and work begins on it. Wesker is transferred to the information department. 1992. Umbrella contributes funds for the refurbishment of City Hall and the building of the General Hospital. A statue of Michael Warren is erected in City Hall. 1993. Raccoon City Police Chief Brian Irons begins conducting negotiations with Umbrella. Birkin transfers to the underground lab in Raccoon City. Clandestine meetings with Irons begin. Alfred Ashford graduates from a university in England and becomes director of the Antarctica facility. He rises up the ranks to eventually become an executive of Umbrella and then director of Rockfort Island. December, a training facility for anti-BOW squad members is completed. 1994, John from the Chicago lab takes over for Birkin at the Arclay Research Facility. Alfred builds a private mansion and prison on Rockfort Island. John from the Chicago lab. So this is the person that Ada was dating while undercover. So he was from the Chicago lab. I don't think I knew that, actually. Or maybe I did and I've just forgotten. John from the Chicago lab. Yeah, John from the puzzle in Resident Evil 1. Yep. So he had taken over the Arclay Research Facility. I don't think I realized that either. Wait, did I skip one? I skipped some. I don't know how I managed that. Okay. 1996. Raccoon City Police Department's STARS team is founded with Wesker as captain. Hunk, later of the Umbrella Special Forces, undergoes combat training at Rockfort Island. Oh, I didn't know that Hunk trained at Rockfort Island. Wow, Rockfort Island is a lot more integrated into the lore than I expected. That's cool. I did not know that. (1998) May. A mysterious clone of Marcus's appears at the Umbrella training facility. There is a large-scale viral leak at the Arclay mansion. The research lab there is destroyed. Cerberus claims its first victim, a 20-year-old woman whose body is found dismembered. Okay, yeah, this has to be Zero stuff that I don't know yet. A mysterious clone of Marcus's. But you know, I think I did know that. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, because that takes place at the training facility. Okay, and I think I did know that Marcus, who gets murdered, had something to do with everything that went down, like with the virus getting leaked in the Arclay mansion, I think, right? June, Cerberus sightings are reported in a local Raccoon City magazine. July, 2 groups are sent to investigate the training facility. The first one is wiped out by BOWs located on the premises. There is an increase in reports of accidents and missing persons in the Arclay Mountains. The city sends the STARS Bravo team to investigate. Bravo team's helicopter experiences engine trouble for unknown reasons and is forced to put down in the Arclay Mountains. Bravo team takes the Ecliptic Express to investigate the training facility, which is later destroyed. Alpha team is sent out to search for Bravo team when communication is lost. The occurrence of the mansion incident. Bravo team leader Enrico Marini learns Wesker's true identity. Wesker murders Enrico. And he became off Rico. Rest in peace. Ravaged by the virus, the mansion and the lab are destroyed. 4 members of the Alpha team and 1 member of Bravo team escape the catastrophe. Survivors: Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, Barry Burton, Brad Vickers, Rebecca Chambers. Wesker escapes the Arclay research facility before it is destroyed. August. Former STARS member Chris Redfield learns of the G-Virus and heads to Europe to investigate Umbrella. September. The virus spreads through Raccoon City via infected mice. The city is declared a biohazard as incidents of cannibalism continue to rise. Birkin completes work on the G-Virus. A zombie horde attacks the city's police station. I feel like that's like a crazy summary there. That's a crazy summary, and it feels a little backwards, in my humble opinion. Because Birkin has completed the G-Virus. He thinks that the research is gonna get taken from him. He knows that Umbrella basically is gonna screw him over. And he's so obsessed with this invention that he starts trying to bargain outside of Umbrella with the US government to sell the G-Virus so that, he can, keep it all, not have the research taken from him, blah, blah, blah. And so Umbrella finds out about this. They send in a team, Hunk's team, right? Hunk's team in to basically detain Birkin and grab the G-Virus. During that altercation, they end up killing Birkin. But while he's dying, he injects himself with the G-Virus in a last-ditch effort to try and survive, because he knows either the G-Virus is going to take over him or he might be able to, become a BOW himself that's sentient. But basically, he does not do that, and it takes over him and he becomes this terrible monster, as we all know, that Leon and Claire end up having to face. And it's during that altercation that the G-Virus gets spilled, and there are rats, and the rats get infected with it, and then it gets into the water supply. So all of that goes down, and that's what ends up spreading it all through Raccoon City. And then a bunch of people all get infected at once. Some people don't, are a little bit more immune. So, but it is the T-Virus that the rats spread and not the G-Virus. So actually, now that I think about it, I guess Birkin had T-Virus samples and G-Virus samples on him, yeah? I guess he must have, because it's definitely the T-Virus. But it's the rats that spread it. Wait, no, I'm remembering something now. Because Birkin also, this is something we learned in Resident Evil 3. Birkin also, as kind of I don't know, a distraction, I guess, or just to create chaos, or just because he was bitter, he sabotaged one of the disposal labs, and BOWs there got out, and it was like a disaster, and were killing people. And so maybe that's where the T-Virus spread, actually. It could be a little bit of mixy lore, blurry lore, because they definitely show you a video of that altercation with Birkin and then the rats, and then Leon says, I bet the rats spread it throughout the city, indicating that it was the rats. And then of course you also see the rats spreading the virus in the opening for the Outbreak games, which if you've never watched that, it is so gorgeous. It is so beautiful. I know this sounds weird to say about the opening of a horror game, but it's literally, it is cinema. But I think if we look at the timeline overall, it makes more sense for it to have been, yeah, like you guys are saying, the dead factory, the disposal laboratory that Birkin sabotaged. And that probably was already starting to spread it. And yeah, like you guys are saying, they were seeing some cases. And then it got really bad. And then it got really bad really fast. As we are all aware. The itchy tasty log, no, that's from the Spencer Mansion in the Arklay Mountains. So all of that happens before the Raccoon City stuff.
Wow.
Was being an a-hole part of the job description for working at Umbrella? You know, I think what the problem is that you have to be an a-hole to be okay with that sort of job. Your average person is, like, even your average a-hole is not going to be okay morally with working in that sort of environment. Like, you have to find a very specific kind of person who could tolerate such a work environment. And so, yeah, I think that's exactly why they're always throwing each other under the bus and being petty and getting lots of people killed, because these are people who have no respect for human life. What about Luis? I mean, there's a reason that he was looking for redemption so desperately, because he knows what he was doing was downright disgusting and wrong. You know, people can always change, and there's always going to be outliers. You know, we've read notes from people who kind of just thought, oh, I'm getting this like really great job. And then they get there and they're like, this job is really messed up. And also, if I try to quit, they're going to kill me. So there was also people like that as well. So... But the benefits. But the benefits. So, I'm just here for the dental plan. You seem to get that with every job I had. No. That's awful. But yeah. So, what do you think, Leon? People can change, right? Don't you make me cry right now. How dare you? I have the mic really close to my face today. Am I too loud? Am I peaking at all? You guys can tell me. I just realized I'm literally eating the mic right now. It's so close to my face.
Wow.
Being an a-hole isn't a requirement. Having awful password and IT habits and losing very important keys are. You want closer, 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 closer. That's totally true though. John making his username John, his password Ada is so crazy to me. Can you imagine? He did not have any numbers or characters in that. What the heck? There are, yeah, I do imagine that working in one of those laboratories is so annoying though. They're like, okay, to get access, you need to go to these 3 different locations. And then you've got to turn on the power to this last one by doing this complicated puzzle. I'd be like, oh my gosh. How does anybody get any work done? That's true. It was the 90s. It was the 90s. The police station is destroyed, and Chief Irons descends into mania. Warren escapes the city but leaves his daughter behind. UBCS, Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service, arrives in the city to begin rescue operations. Rookie police officer Leon S. Kennedy arrives in the city at the same time as Claire Redfield. Umbrella deploys the BOW Nemesis T-Type into the city, and it begins its hunt for former STARS member Jill Valentine. Umbrella deploys mass-produced tyrants into the city. Man, they didn't even give Brad Vickers nothing. Nemesis kills Brad. They don't even care. They're like, wait, who's Brad? Oh yeah, we don't care about Brad. Rest in peace, Brad Vickers. I will never forgive you for what you did to Marvin, though. What do I care? I'll never say your name again. Stars. Leon and Claire escape the city with William and Annette Birkin's daughter, Sherry. With the arrival of the U.S. military, the city is placed under martial law. UBCS survivors are exploited by Umbrella's official observer of the situation, Nikolai. Chat, help me out.
Wow.
Write this out phonetically for me, please. How do I say this? Does anybody know? Nobody knows? Oh, I'm blocking it. You can see it. You can see it enough. There you go. How do I say that? Genovive? Genevieve? Genovive? Genoe? I like that. Genovaf? Genevieve? Genevieve. Okay. UBCS survivors are exploited by Umbrella's official observer of the situation, Nikolai Genovef. And they die off one by one. The hospital is destroyed. Is that really what went down, though? Because I thought he wasn't actually working for Umbrella. Right? I mean, I guess he was working for Umbrella, but he's also working for someone else, right? That's the whole, I don't mind a little detective work. That's his whole bargain with Jill at the end of Resident Evil 3. Oh, that's only in the remake. Oh, I see. Now, okay, because that does line up better with what happens in Outbreak, because he does assassinate for Umbrella a Umbrella researcher, the one that was making the daylight. Nikolai comes in and assassinates him. So originally in the story, he was working for Umbrella, but now in the remake, we've kind of changed it a little bit. Okay. And he seems to be working for mysterious, I believe we don't know who. Yeah, he was just going to sell the combat data. Well, it's very similar to what was happening in the original. I don't think that's a big enough change to really be upset about, you know? He was still, you know, exploiting the UBCS survivors and being a troublemaker. It's just, is he loyal to Umbrella, or is he also in, you know, do other people have their fingers in his pockets, you know? Would you feel safe if your house had Resident Evil Puzzle's security system? Find the code in a journal to open a safe, to get a key to open a door, to find a rock, and throw the rock through the window? Yeah. Make it inside. I wouldn't, because I think I would, like, all of them are death traps, right? Like, it's always a death trap of some sort, and I would death trap myself, you know? Like, you've never come home and then you put in the wrong key. You know what I mean? So... Ada Wong and Hunk each acquire samples of the G-Virus. The underground lab in Raccoon City is destroyed. October. The US government decides to eliminate the virus threat by destroying Raccoon City with a missile strike. December. Claire infiltrates the Paris laboratory only to be captured and imprisoned on Rockfort Island. Wesker attacks the island with his own private force and releases the T-Virus onto the island. Claire escapes from the prison and sends an email to Leon asking for help. Her location is made known to Chris. You know, I kind of forgot that he did that. He did do that, didn't he? Because when you get there, it's already been destroyed. And Alfred's all mad at Claire because he thinks that she had something to do with it. But it was Wesker. Wesker came in and attacked them because he wanted the T Veronica virus, right? Yeah, he was just in a mood that day. It was a little prank. Maybe he went too far. Everybody does sometimes. That Wesker. Jill escapes Raccoon City and goes to Chris's apartment, but he has already left for Rockford Island. Alfred Ashford escapes the island. Chris arrives at Rockford Island and finds Wesker. Alexia Ashford wakes up from her cryogenic sleep at the Antarctic base. Alfred dies shortly after. Claire and Chris are reunited at the Antarctic base, and together they defeat Alexia. They escape before the base is destroyed. They're not going to mention Steve at all? I do feel that these summaries are not, they're too summerful. I need them to be a little less concise. I need more information here. Don't say who. Not my Steve, my precious boy. Yeah, it's very, very abridged. Too abridged. One-sama. Atashi? Really? That's what the Resident Evil wiki is for? I need more lore! Okay. 2002. Jack Krauser fakes his own death and joins Wesker's secret organization. Shh. What? I didn't know that. What? When did you learn that? Krauser was working with Wesker? Nobody told me this. Then why didn't he get an amber sample for Wesker? Why did Ada have to do it? Oh, it's in the OG. Huh. And it got totally changed. Oh, I see. That's crazy. Oh, he was trying, but he failed. Oh. Yeah, yeah. Oh, very interesting. I kind of like that. I like that. Because Sadler didn't trust him because American. You know, I've been thinking a lot about that. That whole plot line. Because I'm just going to say something. If I was Sadler, and my plan was to infect Ashley so that I could mind control her and then get in the pocket of the American president, which I think, question mark, is what he was trying to accomplish with Ashley, right? I think. Why didn't he just let Leon rescue her? She was already infected. If he had just let him rescue her before they even met Luis, they wouldn't have even known that there was a cure, much less how to get it. They would have gone back to America. By the time they had gotten there, the infection would have taken a hold of her. Boom, mind control. By keeping them there, they were just increasing the risk that everything was going to go wrong. So it makes me wonder if there was some reason that he needed her to stay through the whole infection process? I've thought about this for the last 20 years. I mean, I know they did talk about like an advanced version of the virus where it kept them more sentient. Because remember, we were finding all those files where they were saying like, oh, it's like they become really dumb, basically. They don't keep all their faculties that they had before, but they were like continuing to try and improve it and improve it. And I think if I understand correctly, what they were giving to Ashley is one that like should have kept most of her faculties. So, you know, we can always, we can always just blame it on the fact that he had a lot of weird religious beliefs, because he definitely did. It was more than just like an evil plan. Like he had religious stake in his plans. So maybe it was more ceremonial than anything. Ashley would be checked medically after rescue too. Yeah, but what were they gonna do about it? It's not like they had the technology to get rid of the parasite. It just, you know what I mean? What would they have done about it? That's true. They really should have just killed Leon, but I know why they didn't. I know why they didn't. That's because it's Leon Kennedy, man. Nobody wants to live in a world without Leon Kennedy. And not even these crazy fools. Zealotry is a valid excuse. It really kind of is, though. I think they could only do this surgery up to a certain point, right? And then it would be too late. That's almost as bad as a cruel, dark, Carlos-less world. Don't even talk to me about Carlos right now. I'm so glad he survived. I just think that Carlos and Jill are in love. In my head, I have a Jill puppet and a Carlos puppet, and they're KISSINGing. And I have an Ada puppet and a Leon puppet. And they're doing martial arts. And then they're kissing. Jill did survive. Oh my gosh, wait. The shipper brain is firing up because, like, what do you think Carlos's reaction would be to blonde Jill, though? Because I'm just saying, I think he'd be real cute about it. I just want them to be together so bad. Maybe it's actually better that he's not in any of the other games, because I can just decide for myself that he's just like on the side. Jill's house husband. I can just do whatever I want. You know what happened to Carlos after Resident Evil 3? So I have read like what one of the directors said. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it wasn't like official. They were like, he goes back to South America, I think, and is just doing mercenary stuff, if I remember correctly. But I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't vibe with that. Nuh-uh. He's a change. Listen, you guys saw the way he was looking at Jill. You are not going to tell me. Oh, that's right. He got facial surgery. That's right. Facial surgery, and he goes into hiding in South America, but I don't like it. I mean, he can get facial surgery. I don't care about that. But he's made for Jill. He's made for Jill, okay? Oh, I hope you feel better soon. Thank you for stopping in. Good night. Bye-bye. Have a good sleep. Get a good sleep score tonight. He looks at Jill like Runie looks at Wesker. I feel like his looks at Jill are even more innocent. I do not be looking at Wesker with pure innocence in my eyes. He looks at her with like puppy love.
Lunatics.
He's building the house for him and Jill to retire in. This is what I'll say. This is what I'll say. Here, we're about to write some fan fiction right here. And we'll go with what the director said, even though I hate it. After he escapes Raccoon City, he knows that Umbrella's gonna come after him because obviously he used to work for Umbrella. Maybe it's like slow going, like his other people that worked in his unit that had happened to survive also. Maybe it was just him, but let's just say a few of them had survived, maybe didn't even go into the Raccoon City event, but they just kind of start to get disposed of one by one. And he knows that Umbrella's basically coming for him because he has too much information and they see him as a liability. This is before all of the trials go on and things like that. And so he's gonna have to go into hiding. And, you know, him and Jill have been like keeping in touch, you know. And so basically he confesses to Jill and is like, I just want to build a life with you. Let's just chill. Let's get facial surgery and chill in South America. And of course Jill refuses because she has a duty and she's not ready to let go of it yet. So she joins the BSAA and Carlos is basically like, whenever you've had enough, I'll be waiting for you. And he does. He waits for her. And after, maybe this is why she hasn't come back yet, you guys. After everything goes down, she never fully, she's like Frodo in the Morgul blade wound. Like she just never quite recovers from the mind control enough to like want to be on the field anymore. And so finally, she reaches out, that number that only she has, and she goes back home to Carlos. And they're happy and they're in love forever. And they get married and they have lots of kids and they're very happy. The end. Yeah. Does Revelations take place after 4 or after 5? I thought it was before 5. I could be wrong though. I don't know all the timeline for the games outside of the mainline ones. One of the movies focuses on it? Oh, wait, that's gonna make me so sad. It's fan fiction, you guys. I'm allowed to have copium in fan fiction. That is literally what fan fiction is for. It's for cope. Oh, it's before, yeah, 4 and 5. Yeah, so that still works with my timeline. Yeah. It works with my fanfic timeline. In character fanfic. So we're on the same page lore-wise. Do you remember all the major plot points of Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8? Yeah. Yes, I do. Well, you know, the only thing that I'm not sure, that I'm kind of fuzzy on, is I don't really understand, or I don't think I know how much Mia was involved in the research that they were doing on the mold. Like, it was, I think I'm kind of unclear on whether she realized what they were doing and was just kind of like, I'm okay with this, or if she was also blindsided by the extent of it until it like all went to crap. Cause yeah, if she was the caretaker, it definitely seems like she knew, right? That's what I was thinking, but I also felt like they never addressed that. Okay, so they were just brushing it under the rug. Okay, because, okay, I understand now. That's why I was fuzzy on it, because it felt like, well, if she was really aware of all of that, then at some point in one of these games, they would kind of address it. But they never really did. So then I was like, maybe I actually kind of misunderstood that. And maybe she wasn't like in on the more evil side of that project, but I guess she was. Yeah, that makes me really... I knew she was lying. Yeah, so she lies to Ethan about her job. But I thought that was... Well, I wasn't sure if that was just because she knew she was doing something kind of top secret. But I didn't know if she, like, really knew, like... that it was, like, BOW evil research type stuff. Yeah, that gives me mixed feelings about Mia too. That's true. She did seem pretty familiar with a gun when you play as her in the flashback videotape thing. Well, see, that's the thing that's so crazy is I see people say all the time, like, this is the dumbest decision ever. Why would anybody pick Zoe instead of Mia? But I'm not gonna lie, I think if I had played through the game myself, I might have picked Zoe. Because I would have felt quite betrayed. Not only was she lying to you about everything, but I mean, she was doing something that I would have a big problem with. I mean, experimenting on children, period, is bad enough. But then it's not even just like, it's not even just a little bit bad experimentation. It's like really bad experimentation, right? I would just not be okay with it. I don't know if I'd be okay with it. And Zoe didn't do anything wrong. Zoe is completely just a victim in it, you know? Yeah, because that's like before you go out on the boat. So I guess you don't really know all of that yet. I mean, you know she's been lying to you, but you don't know all the details of it yet. But apparently the choice in the game doesn't even really matter all that much. So it's just like, do you get an extra boss fight or not? Something like that. Going on a quest to save your wife and then abandoning her would be really funny. It would be funny. Well, it's a very complicated situation for sure. So, but yeah, to answer your question, I think I understand most of what happens well enough that if there's like references and stuff to it in Resident Evil 9, I don't think I'll feel out of the loop. I actually felt bad for Evelyn. She's the reason people were dying, but she was created to be a weapon and only wanted a family. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that too. I feel like even in 8 as well, they kind of frame her as like just evil, just like, you terrible evil child. And I'm like, dude, like, her, like, they did this to her. Like, I don't know what you expect. Like, you gave a child volatile powers. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's... Have you never read fiction before? Like, don't you know that's a really bad idea? Yeah, that's right. And Evelyn... Yeah, because Miranda thought Evelyn might be able to be a good host for her daughter, but it didn't end up working out. But that's the thing with kids, is kids are malicious sometimes. They're children.
Wow.
Hang out with kids for a little bit and you will see them be absolutely downright malicious. They can just be mean and selfish and volatile, but they're children. They're learning. They're selfish by design. It's like, that's why you don't give an 8-year-old extraordinary powers. It's just a really bad idea. No, my nephew is an angel. my nephew is an angel. He's an exception. Now, saying they're more evil than me is quite a stretch. She also mentally imprisoned an innocent family, but that's why I'm saying, like, you've got to think, like, with the intentions, like, what was really her intention with imprisoning this family, right? Was it purely because she just wanted to see them suffer and got pleasure from their pain? No, that's not really what she was trying to do. So it just gives a different perspective. Oh, I know all of this came from Krauser. It's kind of, I guess because I wasn't interacting with it, it's gone away. Or maybe it's just the Resident Evil 9 hype has cleared it out of my feed. But there was a while there where my feed was like nothing but Krauser and Leon Yaoi. Apparently that ship is fairly popular. I saw a lot of it. They make Krauser real moe gap. Oh no. I thought about retweeting it a few times, but to be honest, I'm not into it. I'm not into it, so I didn't. I can't. It's Leon and Ada for me for life. It's Leon and Ada. I'm not surprised, but I'm really disturbed by this knowledge. Literally, yeah. I so much... Yeah, the pretty boy comment did not make it better. I think just the whole concept... Well, even I pointed it out. Like, just the whole concept of him, like... orchestrating that whole battlefield and, like, riding in what looks like lipstick on Leon's, like, rookie cop photo. It was a little extra. It's giving a little obsessed. Can we be surprised that the Fujoshis took that and ran with it? No. No. That was ripe for the picking. I'd be more surprised if they didn't. Alright. So you're dooming Leon to celibacy? Maybe. It's true, maybe. It's worth it for Ada. Don't tell me it's not worth it for Miss Ada Wong. 2003, February. Chris and Jill take part in the mission to destroy the Umbrella Caucasus Research Facility in Russia. They were successful in destroying a new BOW known as Talos. Wait, which game is this? I know nothing about this. This is Revelations? Oh. See, I'm so excited to play some of the other games. I want to play all the games. 2004. The US President's daughter, Ashley Graham, is kidnapped by the religious group known as the Los Illuminados. The actual kidnapping was carried out by Krauser. Leon Kennedy was scheduled to join Ashley's Secret Service detail, but is ordered to find her instead. Wait. Do you think that if... do you think that if Leon had been on her Secret Service detail before they tried to kidnap her, that maybe they would have failed and like all of that would have been avoided? Leon Kennedy is injected with the Las Plagas parasite by the Los Illuminados. After that, he and Ashley, who is also infected with the same parasite, take shelter in a church. After escaping the village, Leon and Ashley are forced to seek refuge in an old castle, but Ashley is once again apprehended. This time she is taken to an isolated island by Krauser under the orders of Ramon Salazar, the 8th head of the Salazar family. Leon confronts Salazar and defeats him. Leon heads to the island to find Ashley, and it is there that he defeats both Jack Krauser and Osmond Sadler, the leader of the Los Illuminados cult. Leon and Ashley use the facility on the island to remove the parasites. Ada Wong steals the Las Plagas parasite sample from Leon. Leon and Ashley escape from the island by jet ski. That was just the first. We're already an hour and 30 minutes in. That was just the first. You guys are calling him Adam Sandler, man. But there was an Adam Sandler. His papa. The jet ski part is very important, and I'm glad that they kept it in there. You guys said it was short. This is 31 long, you guys. Okay. I'm gonna lock in. Following the annihilation of Raccoon City, Umbrella was hit hard with multiple lawsuits for their involvement in the incident. But there was an organization that was hit even harder by the fallout of that incident: the Global Pharmaceutical Consortium, an organization comprised of pharmaceutical companies from around the world. Umbrella's development and experimentation with bioorganic weapons, along with the sale of those weapons on the black market, caused people to distrust the global pharmaceutical consortium, and the fact that the Umbrella was an executive board member only deepened their misgivings. If things had ended there, the consortium may have just escaped with a tarnished reputation, but in today's world, medicine is an integral part of almost all medical procedures. The public is also quite informed when it comes to which medications are trusted and which are not. If the population loses trust in the pharmaceutical company responsible for creating certain medications, it can quickly bankrupt said company. The Umbrella trials took a turn for the worse for the consortium when prosecutors presented evidence that incriminated many other pharmaceutical companies. Prosecutors showed that Umbrella acquired medicines and techniques developed by other companies and employed them in their own bioweapons research. They commissioned each of the respective companies to only partially develop certain medications so that they could not be traced to what was ultimately being developed. The responsible companies thus unwittingly contributed to the development of bioweapons. Until this development in the case, the consortium looked at the lawsuits as Umbrella's problem. Now the problem was thrust into their laps as well. The companies that were linked to Umbrella faced the possibility of sharing blame for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of innocent people, and if Umbrella lost the lawsuits, they would face bankruptcy as well. Even if Umbrella was found not guilty of any wrongdoing, the negative publicity would not only be disastrous for sales, but the governments of the world would revoke the company's permits to sell their products. Not having permission to distribute their products worldwide would effectively dismantle their businesses. The pharmaceutical companies realized they had no choice but to take drastic measures to counter their dismal prospects. The consortium decided to strike a deal with the prosecutors. They would put all their efforts into assisting with the case against Umbrella, even to the point of turning over any internal company documentation. The prosecutors in the case, being obsessed with seeing Umbrella fall, agreed to accept the help of the consortium's companies, and in return, they would not pursue legal action against them. In 2003, Umbrella was found guilty on all charges. With its fall, the scandal that rocked the pharmaceutical industry to its core could finally be put to rest. But Umbrella's dismantlement led to an unforeseen situation. In the fallout of Umbrella's collapse, BOWs began to show up on the black market. The weapons wound up in the hands of terrorists, guerrilla fighters, and unstable state governments. Soon, the threat of these BOWs began to be felt around the world. Faced with a new Umbrella-like crisis, the global pharmaceutical consortium knew that they would have to take immediate action. It was then that the Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance, BSAA, was formed to fight threats from BOWs. Upon its initial foundation, only 11 elite individuals were made part of the BSAA. Their job was limited to that of observers to armies and police units around the world that conducted counter-bioterrorism operations. Unfortunately, the world's bioterrorism problem was much bigger than anyone had anticipated, and so a new course of action was required to handle the problem. To that end, consideration was given to creating a team that could react instantly to threats, but the BSAA was still only a civilian-led organization. They could not operate freely in sovereign nations, and thus were unable to conduct investigations, make pertinent arrests, or even use force when the situation dictated it. It was clear now that the threat of bioterrorism was now the entire world's problem, and something would have to be done. The BSAA was then reformed under the UN's jurisdiction. As a UN-controlled Special Forces team, the BSAA's acceptance by the UN's member states was taken as a given. The truth of the matter was that only 70% of the member states would approve of BSAA activities on their soil, and the remainder of the states would only approve BSAA activities in their countries on a conditional basis. That is how the current incarnation of the BSAA was formed. The BSAA's headquarters was located in England, but any further details of the location were not released to the public. Since a BSAA team had to be able to be deployed within 12 hours, it was assumed that they were located near an airport hub or an Air Force base. Some sources claimed that the BSAA had bases in the area under their jurisdiction. The following is a list of areas under the jurisdiction of their respective BSAA branches. European headquarters, Europe and Western Russia. Middle East branch, the Middle East and part of Africa. North American branch, the entire North American continent. Chris Redfield is stationed around here. South American branch, the entire South American continent. West African branch, the western part of the African continent. Sheva Alomar is stationed here. East African branch, the eastern part of the African continent. Far East branch, eastern Russia and the countries east of India. Oceanian branch, Australia is the center of operations for Oceania. Antarctica, where Umbrella's Antarctic base was located, falls under the jurisdiction of the Oceanian branch. Each BSAA branch had a considerable number of people on their tactical teams, most of them coming from police special forces and militaries around the world. The support staff for the teams was also quite large, and they came mainly from government organizations in different countries. There were many groups of experts on the staff that provided technical, medical, physical, and mental support to the teams. The BSAA's deployment teams were divided into two groups. The first group was the Special Operations Unit, SOU. The SOU were sanctioned to infiltrate an area, engage in combat, and subdue offenders. Teams were usually comprised of 12 members, and each team was divided into 3 4-man cells. Welcome in, Raiders! Thank you so much for the raid! Welcome in, I hope you had a wonderful stream. Hello, hello, hi. I am reading through all of the files that I unlocked in Resident Evil 5 while I was doing my playthrough because I haven't read them yet. We're getting a lot of really good information right now because I actually didn't know that much about the BSAA, and I know that there's some crazy stuff going on with it because at the end of 8, I mean, did you guys understand what was happening at the end of 8? It seemed like they were being a little suspicious, right? Hold on, I just realized that I think my chat is behind. Okay, there we go. Perfect. But yes, thank you, Iori-senpai! They had deployed BOWs. Chris had a really bad day. Yo. That is a very bad day. Poor Chris, man. He cannot get a break. Also, Flappy, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Let me just... Gifted memberships, who? Gifted memberships today. Gifted memberships today. Gifted memberships a while. Make sure you say thanks now. Gifted memberships today. Hooray! Thank you. Yeah, let's not talk about why Chris just didn't explain to Ethan immediately why he shot quote unquote Mia. Let's just not talk about it. I don't even want to talk about that plot point. It pisses me off, as I'm sure it does all of you. It's very stupid. At least he acknowledges that it's stupid, but it's stupid. It's very stupid. I guess it's very classic action movie. A special feature of the SOU is the flexibility of its personnel during operations. In order to match the scale of an operation, cells from other teams are brought in on a regular basis. For one specific joint operation, there were 70 elite members working together. Don Dechant is currently the leader of Dan, probably Dan actually, right? Dan DeCant is currently the leader of Alpha Team for this operation. The team is comprised of his own standard team along with the cells from other teams. The designation Alpha Team will only be used for this operation. Shut up, I didn't mean to say Apple Team. Orange Team. You guys would be on Kumquat Team. I have spoken. It is how it is. Reports indicate that because unknown BOWs are involved, the efficacy of the tactical team's methods for handling them may be low, and consideration has to be given to the strong points that raise their efficacy. Oh! What the heck? How did that happen? Another key part of the BSAA is the Special Operations Agent, SOA. Usually they are referred to as just agents, and unlike the SOU, agents work alone. The agents are primarily involved in investigations and espionage activities, and as such, they are considered the eyes and ears of the BSAA. During certain operations, it may become difficult for tactical teams to penetrate to the front, so it is up to the agents to carry out the missions. During those types of missions, a 2-man cell is the basic deployment unit required to carry out the mission. Okay, so that's probably what Chris and Jill were doing, right? Sometimes agents must go beyond the jurisdiction of a BSAA branch to carry out their missions. Many of them are dispatched to areas with unlawful activities. This mission sees Agent Chris Redfield in that role. Okay, yeah, so Chris Redfield is an agent. He's not an SOA, he's an agent. And so was Jill. Agents who work alone are highly capable, and they rank higher than SOU members. However, agents are not chosen so much for their abilities or technical prowess, but for the psychological state and aptitude in handling situations. In actual skills and abilities, they may be outperformed by SOU members. The BSAA is a public organization with an international staff, but owing to the logistics of running such an organization, it is a well-known fact that most of their funding comes from the Global Pharmaceutical Consortium. While this relationship has been the target of much criticism, the consortium's funding removes the financial burden from the participatory nations, and as such, any motivation to change the situation and incur unwanted expenses. As for the consortium, their sponsorship acts as a much-needed industry-wide PR service. So far, this partnership has been beneficial to all parties involved. On a final note, the 11 members who were part of the BSAA from the beginning are highly respected within the organization and are known as the Original 11. The name comes from the Original 7, who were the 7 astronauts selected for Project Mercury. One of these Original 11 is Chris Redfield. A number of other members of the Original 11 also work alongside many of the tactical teams. Wait, so is Jill also an Original 11? Yeah, that's why Chris is an Original 11. That's why he'd be punching rocks and stuff. I don't want to be mean to Resident Evil as I love the series, but there's like 7 plot threads off the top of my head that haven't been answered to this day. Some being over a decade old. It does seem that way, doesn't it? It do be seeing that way. Okay. The rest of these will definitely be short. Okay, this is only 11 pages. Listed below is what is currently known regarding the Las Plagas parasite. Though only recently discovered, the parasite known as Las Plagas was sealed away under the family castle of Castellan Ramon Salazar for many generations. The parasite attaches itself to a human host and is assimilated by the central nervous system. Infected humans lose all rational thinking faculties and are wholly subject to control by another type of plaga known as the control plaga, usually another infected human. Hosts may lack rational thought function, but they still retain human-level intelligence, such as the ability to understand and communicate with each other. They can also use tools and are surprisingly crafty when working in groups against an enemy. Leon S. Kennedy documented his encounter with these infected humans in the Kennedy Report. In his report, they were referred to as ganados. The presence of Las Plagas in this mission has been confirmed. It is currently unknown how the parasites discovered in Europe came to be present in Africa. A known bioweapon smuggler, Ricardo Irving, is wanted for questioning and regarding this matter. This information was obtained by the BSAA's Alpha team at great personal risk to themselves. Their report indicated that a Las Plagas sample was extracted from Europe and has undergone both biological and genetic modification, creating a more effective and potentially dangerous biological weapon. This modified Las Plagas has been classified by researchers as Type 2 Plagas. The presence of the Type 2 Plagas has been confirmed to be present in Africa by various intel reports. Type 2's initial infection characteristics vary from the original parasite's infection. The Las Plagas discovered in Europe were injected into humans during the egg phase. They would then reach maturity within the host body, at which point they would assume control of the host's central nervous system. With Type 2, infection occurs from a mature parasite. This requires it to enter the host orally, usually by being forced directly into the potential host's mouth. The observed result of this type of infection method is one of extreme muscular convulsions and uncontrollable body spasms. Yeah, Las Plagas to Electric Boogaloo. We already knew most of this, right? Is it Ada's doing? Because I think Ada decides, it might be different in the original, but in the remake, she decides not to give the amber sample to Wesker. Also of note, whereas the original Las Plagas took anywhere from a few hours to a few days to assimilate a host, Type 2 requires almost zero maturation time. From this point alone, Type 2 is a much more efficient weapon. Infections of this type have already been witnessed by BSAA operatives currently stationed in the area. Type 2 takes over the central nervous system of infected humans and incapacitates normal rational thought faculties. The infected hosts become willing subjects to the one that controls them. However, to maximize their effectiveness as a weapon, the persons who command them do not need to possess a control plaga to do so. Oh, wait, I don't think I knew that. I guess that makes sense because nobody was using a control plaga, at least that we saw in this one. Oh, he got it from Krauser. I still think that the way the Plagas infected Krauser looked so much more like the G virus than anything else to me. It does make me wonder if he was working with Wesker. I don't know. It looked like G virus to me. He did not have any of the same, but I guess it was maybe the advanced Plaga that they were working on. I don't know. I mean, and like he kept all of his faculties too. It's my crazy theory. I feel like maybe he was infected with Plagas, but like I feel like something else is going on. I don't know. Maybe Krauser's just built different. His was a special Plaga. Like it has to be something, right? Hosts retain their intelligence, and the abilities of the host are dependent on the abilities inherent in the human before infection. This is the same as with the original version of the Las Plagas parasite. It has been speculated that to raise their proliferation as a weapon, the parasite has been altered so that its host will actively infect others in order to increase their numbers. According to intel reports, Type 2 hosts are apparently known as Majini to weapons dealers. This word comes from the local language meaning evil spirit. Because the codename Type 2 exists, it is presumed that there are subsequent numbered types, Type 3 and Type 4. No confirmation of this, however, has been acquired at this time. Oh my gosh. We don't need any more. We don't need more types, man. Yeah, he had boss Plagas. Yeah, he didn't have grunt Plaga. He had boss Plaga. So you're saying I was manufactured. Alright. Oh my gosh, these are so long! This is so much longer than I expected. Okay. Listed within this file is a general background information overview of BSAA agent Chris Redfield, as pieced together from various sources. The information listed here is neither complete nor should it be used as a psychological analysis of the subject. Chris Redfield began his military career in the United States Air Force. Possessing a service record replete with both commendations and disciplinary actions, commanding officers have described Chris as uncompromising, possessing unwavering dedication, and having a high level of adaptability. It was these traits that saw Chris earn his wings, but also these same traits that brought him into direct conflict with his superiors. Unable to settle these differences, Chris retired from the United States Air Force. After retirement, Chris was scouted by Raccoon City Special Forces, STARS, because of his superior firearm and hand-to-hand combat skills, along with his qualifications as both fixed-wing aircraft and helicopter pilot. Joining the STARS team, Chris was designated as point man for Alpha Team. As point man, it was his duty to scout and secure positions ahead of the team. His duties required him not only to be a good shooter and fighter, but also be able to use a wide array of weaponry. It was in this area where he excelled, showing the ability to handle anything from small arms to large weapons and the flexibility to use them as the situation dictated. Chris's performance with STARS was exemplary. It appeared that he had finally found his niche, but fate had other plans in mind for Chris. Unbeknownst to him, the next chapter in his story was about to unfold on that fateful night in July 1998. The STARS Bravo team, responding to reports of disappearances in the surrounding areas of Raccoon City, abruptly went radio silent. Alpha Team was sent in to investigate. Shortly after their helicopter touched down, they were attacked by riled, ravenous canines, known as the BOW Cerberus, and were forced to take refuge in a nearby mansion. The mansion was in reality the Arclay research facility for the pharmaceutical giant Umbrella. It was at this facility that they developed bioweapons and conducted uncounted illegal experiments. Here, Chris and his partner, Jill Valentine, were forced to combat numerous BOWs as part of an active tactical research plan devised by Albert Wesker. Wesker was the commanding officer of STARS, and therefore Chris and Jill's superior. Though all his actions were done at the behest of the Umbrella Corporation, Wesker used his rank in STARS to manipulate Chris and Jill. Wesker unleashed several BOWs into the mansion in order to gather data for his own ends. This tragedy in the Arclay Mountains became known as the Mansion Incident, and ended with Chris and Jill destroying the creature known as Tyrant, the death of Wesker, and the destruction of the laboratory. Having survived the incident at the mansion, Chris attempted to notify the authorities regarding Umbrella's activities, but all his warnings were ignored due to Umbrella's powerful sway. Having exhausted this option, he attempted to notify the U.S. government of the situation. This, too, however, proved fruitless. He knew that taking on such a large corporate entity alone would not be easy, and might in fact prove fatal, but in the end he was left with no other choice. Thus, Chris continued his investigation on his own. Without informing his family of his intentions, he soon departed for Europe. Chris wanted to shield his family from any ill effects his investigation might incur, but ironically it brought one of his family members into the fray. When Claire Redfield was unable to get in contact with her brother, she journeyed to Raccoon City to find him. Upon arrival in the city, she found the area awash in the terror brought on by the spread of the T-virus. In that land of death and confusion, Claire met Leon S. Kennedy, and together they were able to fight their way out of the city. After the Raccoon City ordeal, Claire flew to Paris to investigate Umbrella's activities in Europe, but she was captured and sent to Rockford Island. When Chris learned from Leon what had happened to Claire, he made his way to Rockford Island to free her. It was there that Chris was confronted with many harsh facts. Umbrella had a research facility in Antarctica. Alexia Ashford was still alive. There was a new virus called T. Veronica. And most surprisingly of all, Albert Wesker was still alive. The man behind the horror of the mansion incident, Chris's former commanding officer, somehow survived the destruction of the mansion. Once again, Chris was unwittingly thrust into one of Wesker's schemes, and he was forced to face the man whose destiny appeared to be intertwined with his own. Chris was easily overpowered by Wesker's inhuman strength, but luck was on Chris's side that day. Why is this getting spicy? In the ensuing conflagration that consumed the island, Chris and Wesker's conflict was put on hold for the time being. With his resolve strengthened, Chris determined that no matter at what personal cost to himself, Umbrella would fall. Fast forward to 2003. Chris is in the skies over Russia? His partner, Jill Valentine, by his side. At this point, Umbrella was in dire straits. In the wake of the destruction of Raccoon City, the company became embattled in litigation, and their stock price plummeted. It was only a matter of time before Umbrella collapsed. It was during this time that Chris learned of Umbrella's plans to develop a new type of BOW. Chris and Jill had obtained information and were headed to the Caucasus laboratory where the T-Alos plan was being conducted in secret. They were to rendezvous with an anti-bioterrorism unit and attack the location. Not long after this incident, the once seemingly untouchable Umbrella was officially no more. The seed that Umbrella sowed, however, would continue to reap tragedy to the world. BOWs were no longer restricted to areas of conflict, but were now being used in terrorist attacks against innocent civilians. It was at this time that Chris and Jill joined the BSAA, a group dedicated to eliminating those bioweapons. The two of them traversed the world together, partners in the fight to bring bioterrorists to justice. The shadow of Umbrella still loomed large, though, as they would soon discover. When Chris and Jill went to question Umbrella's founder, Oswell E. Spencer, about Wesker's whereabouts, they were greeted by the sight of Umbrella's founder lying crumpled on the floor, and the blood-stained figure of Wesker standing over him. This would be the third confrontation between Chris and Wesker. This time, the confrontation ended in tragedy as Jill, seeing no other option, made the ultimate sacrifice to stop Wesker. With one last effort, she charged Wesker and threw both herself and him over the side of a cliff. The BSAA searched for Jill's body for 3 months, but no trace of her was ever found. After 3 months of searching with no success, Jill Valentine was officially declared dead by the BSAA. Wait a minute! So that means that Carlos, with his new face hiding out in South America, he's keeping up with it. He's got a buddy in the BSAA, and then he finds out and he thinks Jill is dead. No! And he's still faithful to her, by the way. Just so you know. But it's okay because she's not actually dead, and he gets reunited with her and is like extra happy. It's extra happy. And they have just such a heartfelt, warm, explosive, romantic reuniting. And it's not until like the next day when things have finally calmed down that he's finally like, by the way, I kind of like the blonde hair. And it's all in your head. Shh, shh, shh. A secret Resident Evil 9 in you. Listen. I knocked Wesker off the side of a cliff and all I got was a new hair color. So true. Where does it say the word faithful? In my head. tattooed on my heart. That's where it says it. My shipper neurons are crazy right now. Anyways, Carlos and Jill are in love, in case you didn't know. No one knows what promises Chris made in front of Jill's empty grave, but following her loss, he redoubled his efforts to eradicate all bioorganic weapons wherever they may be. Initially stationed at BSAA's North American branch, his investigation soon took him around the world. He became involved in so many operations that he soon had more missions to his name than any other BSAA member. During one of the investigations, Chris learned of an upcoming bioweapons deal in Africa in connection with a man named Ricardo Irving. Irving's name has come up quite often of late, in association with bioweapons smuggling. After informing the BSAA's African branch about Irving, Chris urgently requested permission to participate in the operation to arrest Irving. As for the reasons he wished to participate in this mission, Chris would not comment. Whether he is withholding information or not is unclear. He was. As one of the most respected BSAA agents, his presence in this operation greatly increases the chances of success, thus his request has been granted. Wait, so do you think it was Wesker that sent him the pictures of Jill? Or that sent him the rumor that Jill was still alive to, like, lure him out there? Because he was, like, genuinely so obsessed. Do we not know for sure who did it? I don't know who else would have done it. It had to have been him, right? You would think that Wesker didn't want to be found, but somebody let Chris in on it. I mean, it had to have been Wesker, right? Hard to say. It could have been Jill in a moment of clarity. That would be cool, because she was still fighting it the whole time she was fighting it. You guys, I'm getting tired. We might have to do a part 2. This is crazy. We might have to do a part 2, you guys. There's still there's so much. Why not Ada? Because I don't think Ada was involved in this. She's already parted ways with Wesker by this point, yeah? I'm so sleepy. I know, I'm not even halfway. I definitely want to read everything. I might read it and just record it later. We'll see. It is a ton of lore. I'm definitely enjoying it. I definitely want to read it all. But I'm a little bit sleepy and my throat's a little bit dry. I'm afraid of getting so close that it feels like I might as well. And then Watch Mama is gonna get mad at me and be like, you didn't get 8 hours of sleep again. And I'm gonna get a sad Watch Mama message. There are a total of 80 files. Yeah, but are they all 36 pages long? You guys are gonna see it tomorrow, actually. But I'm uploading, or I actually already have it uploaded at 8 p.m. A Let's Play will premiere of Blueprints. And there's a book that I rented from the library in Blueprints. That's like a full book that I read out loud. So if you guys want an audiobook experience, you'll get that in the next episode of Blueprints. I forget it, but I think it's like a solid 30 minutes just reading the book out loud. Yeah, it's just one take. So it's not perfect. It's not like audio perfect, but yeah. It was like a full book, like a full short story length. It really was. It might have even been longer than that. I don't know. I didn't look at it. I didn't look. I should have looked when I was editing it at how long it is. But I think this episode is going to be very fun. And I've already finished editing the next installment for Blueprints. So we've got a lot of Blueprints content. Which book you'll have to go and find out. So yes, I won't be streaming tomorrow, but there will be the Blueprints video premiere. And I will not be streaming on Thursday, but I am streaming on Friday at 8 p.m. And what am I doing? I don't know. What am I doing on Friday? I suppose you don't know either. But you might could figure it out. If you use your little noggin. And on Saturday, we'll be playing Resident Evil 6. You'll never use your noggin. I demand it. Use your noggin. There is something up there. You better use it. Stupid. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for another RUSEDAY on the books. I created a puzzle for you, and you're just gonna leave me hanging? Rude? You could be the puzzle cracker to my puzzle master. But you playing. Okay. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me for some lovely Resident Evil lore. I love Resident Evil. I love immersing myself more into the world, even if it's kind of messy and the lore's a little, blurry at some points. That doesn't really bother me. I still think it's really fun. So I hope you guys had a nice, relaxing stream. I'm gonna try to get some sleep tonight. I'll try not to stay up too late playing Sudoku. I haven't been posting about it, so maybe you guys thought that my Sudoku craze was over, but it's not. It's not over at all. It's not over. It's so bad. I just play Sudoku all the time. While I eat dinner, while I eat lunch, while I'm on the toilet, while I'm trying to fall asleep, first thing when I wake up in the morning, sometimes at red lights. What's the stress levels during Sudoku? Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Stop calling me Sudoku. Okay. I have to go. I have to go. It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet, but I must say farewell. Give glory to the runes, for my love and affection is forever with you. Good night, everybody. Don't let the BOWs bite. Bye bye.